I'm here with Bob Jacob Blackstock, founder and CEO of Bitstrips. So you loved comic books growing up, yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So I started when I was a little kid with like Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck, Archie, Richie Rich, Casper the Friendly Ghost.
Okay.
Kind of all of those comics that you could get in any variety store.
Yeah.
Also, my parents had a collection of like alternative underground comics, like from the 60s. So in my house there was like Robert Crumb and like really crazy stuff like that, like not appropriate for kids.
Okay.
So I kind of
big appeal.
Yeah. So I was so definitely had a wide spectrum. And in elementary school, for me and my friends, it was all about comics. So like we were all obsessed with it. We would all go to the comic store every day after school. We didn't until like, at some point we realized that there was one day a week when the new comics came out. But until we knew that, we would just go every day and collect them and trade them. That was like our culture.
Okay, when did comics and computers first mix for you?
That's a good question. It's definitely, my household was very early adopter when it comes to computers and stuff.
Okay.
And I remember taking computer classes where they were showing us how to draw on, and this is like way back in like Commodore 64 days,
Right.
And it was
like
drawing
basic?
by like commands.
Okay.
Like tell the turtle to move
20
points this way, and like try to draw a car, and so that was like very very early on was the idea that like you could actually make art on a computer.
Yeah.
And so from that point forward, that was always something that I would like experiment with.
Yeah.
More in terms of just general art and like really rudimentary games and stuff like that.
Okay.
Didn't really start using like the computer to make comics specifically until I had a color computer.
Okay.
Which wasn't until like the end of high school.
Okay.
Because that's how old I am.
Right. But this is well before Griddleville, then?
Like I think the first thing I really the first comic I really used a computer to make was Griddleville.
Okay.
And this was because I wanted to make, like I'd been making comics just on paper and I was always good enough and use a photocopier and whatever.
Right.
But when it came to coloring it in, and I wanted to do something super colorful, and like realized Photoshop opened up a whole world of like what you could do technically, and so that was really exciting.
Okay, yeah. Okay. I think your work is in the eye of the feedback loop between comic books and communication technology. Can you describe what it is like in there?
What's it like in there? It's pretty fascinating. I think like comics and they're more connected than people realize. When you think about like the real personal computing revolution, I think really started when people went from like DOS to like when the Macintosh came out, and then like Windows copied the Mac, and you had the first visual UI where you had a little image of a folder. And you click on that.
Yeah, and it's a cartoon.
It's a cartoon, and so like early on, without labeling it as such, there was an understanding that like looking at a black wall with green text It's
Yeah.
like not really for everybody,
Yeah.
but showing you little pictures of things that you can click on to navigate that makes sense on
Yeah.
a symbolic level
Right.
makes it much easier.
Yeah. Right.
and-
Even like the face. Like, wasn't it a face like when
Yeah, when you turn on the Mac, there's a little smile.
yeah,
and
or
then,
when it
like,
would crash, like the
it has the X's for the eyes.
Yeah,
and it's
yeah, yeah.
totally comics.
yeah.
And so, I've been thinking a lot about how communication's been evolving through technology, and technology has led to all these revolutions in communication that have changed the world and changed culture. And in a way, they've made text more prevalent in that, we went from like writing letters to then like being on the phone and people wouldn't like have to read or write anymore.
Right.
And now no one is on the phone anymore, they're just texting.
Yeah.
Which is like so much more convenient in so many ways, and it probably actually leads to people like communicating more than they have before.
Right.
But at the same time, each of these advancements have stripped certain fundamental things out of our communication that are like natural to how humans interact.
Yeah.
So like when you went to the telephone, you could hear the person's voice, but you couldn't see their face anymore.
Right. Yeah, my 4-year-old, when he talks on the phone, he always gestures, and I'm like, they can't see that. They can't see you nodding.
Right.
You know?
And then you go to from phone to text, and now you can communicate faster than ever, but you don't even have tone of voice anymore. And that's why people invented emoticons, because they're like, I don't know if you're joking or not. And
Yeah.
someone's like, oh, I better
Sarcasm.
invent a smiley to show you that I'm joking.
Yeah.
And that evolved into emoji, which is really about not only bringing back that emotional nuance that's missing from the way that we're all communicating, but also like clarity, like this is my tone or my expression with
Right.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Which is ironic because sometimes the way people use emojis are not clear at all, where it becomes a little puzzle
Yeah.
that you're trying to interpret.
Yeah.
But the fact that emoji has become such a huge cultural phenomenon
Yeah.
is really interesting, because I think it reveals that people had this lack for all the advancements that the communication technology brought them. They knew something was missing, and then emoji spoke to them in a language they innately understood without even recognizing it for what it was, which was basically like cartoon language. It's symbolic language of like really simple, the simplest possible little pictures that can tell you the difference between like a smirk and like tears of joy, which completely changed the meaning of the text that goes with it.
Yeah.
So the work that we've been doing has been thinking about, for a really long time, the idea that comics and cartoon is actually this incredibly powerful language that's universal, that everybody understands. Every culture has them in one form or another.
Yeah.
And yet historically, as books once were, they're like the realm of a very small niche of people, of like cartoonists.
Right.
And like you have to be able to draw to use this language. And so you see, emoji and stickers and the kind of stuff that we're making is now democratizing that
Right.
kind of language technology.
You don't need the artistic skill to be able to
exactly.
communicate that way.
Yeah, it's taking away that barrier, putting it into everybody's hands, and it's basically, it's creating a new language.